Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Lindy and Lori's Power Half Hour. Today, we're going to be talking to you about elevating your video presence online. And we're going to show you and talk to you about easy tricks to help you create your personal branded video that you can put on your website, social media, and other marketing platforms in the digital space. I am Lindy Nowak. I am the founder of Up in a Day, and we build great websites for great small business owners quickly without the headache. And I am here with Lori Schloff, a good friend of mine and also client. And Lori?
I am a very happy client, and it's wonderful to be here and to talk about video presence. I am the president of a company called Partners in Communication, and we work with professionals and leaders who want to improve their presence in presentations or preparing for an upcoming event or interview. And we are finding more and more that video is the way to go. Though it's hard, we all do need to get comfortable on video. So I thought maybe a good topic to open with is, why video? So I can think of a few reasons. First of all, it's very hot and it's very in. Like, as I said, everyone needs to start to get comfortable with being on video, though it is, I think, human nature to not like how we come across because we don't see ourselves the way others see us. In addition, listeners like video a bit better than audio, and certainly better than just reading an email. So it's very important in terms of your establishing your visibility. And then finally, when you are effective on video, it's great for relationship building because people get to see your facial expression. Like right now, Lindy's doing her head nods, and that makes me feel good and supported. So there's nothing like human to human connection. And if you can't be in person, video is probably the second best. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And, why we're here today is to really help all of you get out of that kind of nervous zone and hopefully become more comfortable about putting a camera in front of your face and talking to your audience. And that's what this is all about, right? Like creating personal branded video specifically for your clientele. And you can also take away a lot of these tips and tricks that Lori and I will talk about today. And you can take that into your workplace as well. So whether you are creating video for your clients, if you are a business owner, or if you are an employee at a company, maybe you're in the C-suite, executive, or even maybe on the managerial level, a lot of what we talk about today hopefully will resonate with you and help you along the way.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of practical advice. So
Mhm.
I'd like to first start with how does someone come across well visually on video? I'm going to start with one tip that I think is challenging for people, and that is simply looking at the darn camera because it's not necessarily normal. I mean, if we're in a studio now, I have to look at the camera. In my case, that's on my computer, and it's not something. It's something I had to practice because it doesn't come naturally. So that's looking at the camera, I would say, for your virtual meetings and certainly for when you're creating a video for your website is very important. What else? What else comes to mind, Lindy?
That's a really good tip, actually. If you are recording video on your desktop or laptop, look at the video on the top of your screen. I know we're always kind of like want to look down, we want to see what we look like, and then we get nervous, and then all of a sudden our eyes are everywhere. If you guys are on your using your cell phones to create video, which is totally legit, especially if you have a really great camera, which most especially iPhones have today. It's really easy to look at instead of looking at the camera, which is going to be like on the left or right side, depending on how you have your camera positioned. Make sure it's horizontal, by the way, for your website. You're not going to be looking at yourself. You're actually going to be looking to the right or to the left, but actually in the video itself, you'll be looking dead on. So those little things that you should keep in mind so that after you give your speech for 2 minutes and then you open up the video and you're like, I wasn't looking at the camera, and then you have to do it again. So like
So
remember
frustrating.
that as you're doing it. And then in terms of looking, how we show up on video, that's such a great question. And I'm excited to talk about this because I'm going to speak specifically to those who are creating video that they put on their website, okay, or on anywhere online. How you show up online is how people perceive you, whether we like that or not. It is true. So, what do? Well, um, who is our ideal clientele? How do they expect us to dress? How do we show up? What is our price point at which we are providing our services at? And then dressing the part, doing your hair, doing your makeup, or if you're a man, obviously doing your hair, and then wearing professional clothing that you are comfortable in, that is your personality, but also is attractive to your clientele. For example, today I'm just wearing like a nice easy t-shirt. I don't want to come across like ultra conservative, and then just a nice jacket. And then Lori, of course, you have this like a beautiful blouse on. The other thing I want to say is when we're talking about what we're wearing, like try not to wear anything too like busy in terms of patterns, because what you're trying to achieve here is for people to listen to what you're saying. So if you don't want to show up with something that's like distracting, basically, of what you're wearing.
Yeah, now this is so interesting. I was just also thinking of, looking confident. And it's sort of a combination. It's an interesting combination of looking friendly, but also very competent and in control. And, for example, if I tilt my head, that looks very engaging, but this looks more authoritative. So I may have mentioned this over the years that I've known you, Lindy. I love people to come up with style words. What do you want people saying about you after they've seen you in a meeting or when they've watched the video on your website? What are 2 words you'd like people to use? Like I like the words for my team of approachable and expert. And both
Mhm.
those things become very important. And I'll tell you, even my team members, when we do video, we tend to stiffen up. So sometimes it's hard to bring that approachability across.
Yeah, it definitely can be. I mean, taking a few takes, there's nothing wrong with that. Like recording yourself and getting comfortable with yourself after you come up with those keywords is very important. And I think that's a great segue into talking about speech and voice, Lori, because once we have the look and the feel of how we come across, well, now it's the hard part. Now we have to actually think about what we want to say, how we want to say it, the cadence. And Lori, I'll let you take the wheel.
Yeah, the other day I talked to a guy very accomplished who was on a panel and was talking like this, and he definitely needed to get some pep in his speech step, and that's called vocal variety. So, people who are interesting to listen to, they're doing stuff with their words. So, about 1 word in every sentence should jump out. Now, I don't want you to be robotic about it, but I do want you to listen to yourself to see, am I coming across as enthused about what I'm saying? So 1 word in every sentence should jump out. And the worst situation in the world is if you feel passionate about something, but it's not coming across. That is so frustrating. In terms of speed, we do prefer someone who keeps up a good clip, who keeps up a good fluency, but we do need to pause and breathe. Highly recommended. So we want to pause for about a count of 2 in between thoughts. Like right now, I'm not pausing at all, and it can be really annoying to listen to me after a while. Right now, I'm pausing for a count of 2, and it's much easier to listen to me, right?
Much easier. That's
Thank
a
you very,
great,
very much.
great tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I want to get more into sort of the how your mindset and your team's mindset works, Lindy, with how you place, how you use video on a website. What goes through your head when you're thinking about how it best shows up on a website?
Yeah, sure. No, thank you. So when we approach video on websites, what we like to do is to put the videos front and center, because these are typically videos where you're introducing yourself, your services, you're speaking directly to your clientele. You are putting a face to the name, and this is where you really capture your audience. So what I want to do is show just a couple quick examples of some of our websites. I'm obviously going to show Lori's to start. So let me just show you where we place this video towards the top of the page quickly, and then I'll just walk everybody through. So here we are. This is Partners in Communication. We have Lori up front because she is the face of the company. Great. And then we have the header and the descriptor, typical. And then here we are. This is introducing Lori and what she's doing in this video, which we don't have a lot of time for, but you can check it out on your own, is that she's really telling you about why it's important, why speaking is so important. And then she talks about her services and what it's like to work with her, etc. So what I want to point out, see this copy on the left? Why do we have this? Well, think about it. If someone is coming to your website on their mobile phone or desktop, but they're in a situation in which the audio, they can't play audio, maybe they're in a public setting or they can't hear it, putting context around what the video is about is ultra important. So that's just like an extra tip for you guys when you do put video on your website. I'm going to show you another one. This is Corinne Wired. She's also in coaching. She's an executive coach where we introduce her up front. And this is just a different approach. So yes, we have her video on the top, but rather than putting context around the video about what the video is about, we're opening up a conversation. So this is really interesting. And this conversation, you might be here because you have stalled in your career, you no longer feel fulfilled. This is what she's talking about here. So it gives people options on being able to either read or watch video on the website. So those are just a couple examples. Other things you can do, which are quite interesting. So let's say you have a calendar booking. Let's say you use Calendly. A lot of us do, Acuity. Well, you can use a redirect after somebody books a call, and it can redirect to a page on your website of a video of you saying, hey, thank you so much for booking a call with me. I'm very excited to meet you. Here's a little bit about what you can expect in our first time together. And then you can give it can be like 30 seconds. Lori, I want to talk about how long these videos should be.
Okay. Yeah. People's attention span is very short and getting shorter by the minute. So I'm going to suggest, and you can tell me what your thoughts are, 30 seconds to a minute. So that does require preparation. That does require you getting your main points top of mind and probably for most of us practicing a lot. What are your thoughts about length?
Oh, I agree. I would say 30 seconds. I mean, 2 minutes tops, 1 minute and a half. And it's exactly what Lori said. I have exactly what she said. Everybody, people are going fast. Remember, they're skimming through your website. They're going to stop the video, whether they listen to the first 10 seconds or whether they go all the way through. And with that being said, Lori, you said something to me earlier before we started recording. And it's like, the first thing we need to do is we need to tell everybody why we're here. So can you talk to that about video on the website and kind of like how to structure it more or less, like how to get to the point at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, know the theme of your video. So let's say my theme is, as you said when you were pointing my website out, why is speech and communication important for your career? And then I have to plan it. I'll have my pen and paper in my case. You can use your device and map out my bullets. Now, if you're able to keep up a good fluency, always giving a little example. Like if I said, recently I worked with a person who became vice president of a software company, and the president came up to her and said it was the best talk in the history of the company. Like that took 10 or so seconds, but it might have been a good 10 or so seconds because the person seeing that on the video says, oh, well, maybe I can become good if I get coached by Lori's team. So know exactly what you're focusing on, prepare your key points, and come across fluently, but not in a rush. I have a question. If someone comes to you as a client and doesn't have video, do you suggest that they do create videos?
I typically do. It depends on what they're offering. We work with a lot of coaches and consultants, and because this world of coaching is so jam-packed these days, people love to put a face to the name. They want to kind of get an idea of what you're like, and it's a great way for you to introduce yourself because it is you are your brand, and you are providing the service. And there are multiple ways you can talk to your clients. You could introduce yourself, who you work with, your typical engagement, what is like working with you, or you could take the approach of storytelling, like Lori was just talking about. Storytelling is very powerful. If you niche, if you niche into a very specific market, storytelling is probably a good way to go because that will all like immediately um, like connect with your website visitor because you're looking to connect, attract, and convert the exact ideal client, right? And so that's where video really comes in to play to be very successful on your website, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you just said something that made me think you really are trying on your website for people to get like an emotional connection. And I think video really helps with that. The other thing that I noticed that your team does also at the beginning of the relationship, when you're just getting to know us, you ask a lot about tone, mood, colors, and all those things also sort of wrap around the video, and everything together forms a great impression for the person who's looking at your site for the first time.
Yeah, I think so too. The tone of you speaking in the video is so important because you're speaking directly to who you typically work with. I know it sounds really obvious, but it's true. And to keep that in mind when you are, hitting record on your camera, your tone, because we get so nervous. Like nobody, I mean, a lot of us like to be in front of the camera. I myself do not. It took me
You're
years.
getting good though. You're getting
I'm
really good.
nervous. But oh my gosh, yeah. I usually have to take like 50 takes just to get like comfortable in my skin. And it's really like for me, when I get in front of the camera, my vulnerability here, but I
Hmm.
forget my what I'm about to say. Like
Hmm.
I have like kind of my script in my head, and then I kind of like freeze up, and then I forget, and then I have to start over again. So, Lori, question for you: what's a good tactic to create kind of your script for the video that you can stick to? What are some tips that you have for everybody?
Hmm. Speaking of sticking to, now if you're at a device, you can literally take a piece of paper with your key bullets on it and literally stick it on, to on your screen, usually to the left of where you're looking at the camera because you tend to read from left to right. So definitely prepare your key headline. So, for example, what's important about video? And then underneath that, I might have 3 bullet points. And let's face it, there's a moment for everybody who say, where am I? What am I talking about? Who, who are these people? So we all freeze a little bit, but you want to have your fallback, which is your notes. I'm glad we're sort of ending our half hour power hour with talking about nervousness because really that does affect all of us, and I don't want it to hold people back from using video as a tool, for reaching out to the clients who would really like to work with them.
Yeah, I agree. Video is important, and for the most nervous of everybody, it does just take practice and just practice over and over, and it builds confidence as well.
Yeah.
So it's
So
you can always switch out video whenever you'd like. That's the other cool thing about having video. And uh, this tool, once you have a video of you talking about your service or whatever it is, you can have somebody cut into that video and use those snippets across your social media channels, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn, and that can be very effective. Just create that 1 to 2 minute video and you have so much content there to play with.
I
So, and
like that. So you
mhm.
do it for the website, let's say, working with you and your team, Lindy, and then you can totally repurpose it, which is really great. So
Yeah.
I'd encourage everybody. We're here to be helpful. So any way we can help you to create a video that you're happy with, and definitely will attract the clients that you want. That's what we're here for.
Yes, absolutely. Reach out to Lori and myself through our DMs or through our website. You can probably find mine somewhere on below, but it is upinaday.co. And then Lori is Partners in Communication Inc.
Right? Don't forget the
Um,
INC.
yeah, don't forget the
Longest
INC.
longest email in the world, but whatever.
Yes. So look forward to hearing from everybody. We really hope you liked our Power Half Hour. We're planning on doing a bunch of these quarterly, maybe even monthly. So please give us your feedback, questions, put down below. We will be more than happy to answer them. And we look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
All righty. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next time.
See you next time.